Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. So we have a little dilemma. So basically I filmed this whole exact same video of all my stories and everything like that, and I took my memory card out of my camera and my memory card completely snapped. So we're gonna sit down and try this again. So it is currently Wednesday. I'm going to get this up for you guys today. I was supposed to upload my next video yesterday, but just know that I haven't forgotten and I'm here now. So let's get right into the video. Okay, so first off, I want to talk about my first birthing experience because this story to this day is absolutely crazy. It was an experience I will never forget, obviously. But it was a struggle. I had my first son, Bentley, at 17 years old, on May 17th, 2013. I will post the video up top if you guys wanted to see my story with, being a young mom and everything like that. You guys can watch that. I will also link it down below if you guys want to watch it after this video. But anyways, so I had a normal pregnancy with Ben and everything was fine. I ended up being 10 days past my due date, and that's the maximum days that you can go, and then they have to induce you and everything like that. So I went to the hospital and they put something with chemicals on it to start your labor, and they put that in me and induced me, and they sent me home. So now, this is where the fun starts. So basically, they sent me home, I got induced and everything like that, and we lived half an hour from the hospital, and I was dead set on having Bentley where I was born. So I was like, okay, we'll make it in time, we're getting induced, whatever. So we get to my mom's house, I just lay down and I go through the process of the labor. And I probably stayed there for about 3 hours. I hopped in my mom's car and I remember I'm like, hey, let's go to the hospital. I don't want to be here anymore. My labor, my contractions, everything, they're close together. It's time to go. Let's go. So we left. And my mom used to always joke about getting mad at me if my water broke in her nice car that she had at the time. And we joked about this my whole pregnancy, and my water actually ends up breaking in her car on the way to the hospital, and we were both laughing. It was funny, but sorry, Mom. Get to the hospital, I'm in labor probably for 12 hours, let's say, bouncing on the ball, having baths, eating ice chips, doing everything I'm supposed to do. And my mom's like, okay, I'm gonna go to Walmart. And I was like, okay, go to Walmart, I'm good. I'm in pain, but I'm good here. So the nurse that was taking care of me was very lost without my doctor there, and my doctor ended up leaving at the time my mom left because they thought everything was fine and whatnot. So the nurse tells me I need to start pushing. So I call my mom and I'm like, hey, Mom, I need to start pushing, this nurse is telling me. And then she's like, well, you can't start pushing yet because your doctor's here at Walmart. I just ran into her. And I was like, my doctor's at Walmart and I'm gonna push this baby out? What are you talking about? I'm freaking out this whole time, crying, whatever, I'm emotional, and everybody's at Walmart and I'm supposed to be having this baby right now. Anyways, so I start pushing. I probably pushed for a good 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours of constant just pain and crying and sweat. Yeah, I'm just saying, from vaguely of what I remember, I'm pretty sure it was around that time, that long. But I pushed and pushed, and the doctors realized that he was breached in my belly and I'm trying to push this baby out. So why did they not know before I started pushing that he was breached? I'm not sure. But they decided to, try and flip him in my stomach while I'm pushing and in pain and all of this stuff. So TMI, but we're just being real here. I puked all over myself as this was happening. I was in distress. I had enough. I also forgot to mention this, but I did have an epidural when it was just on the verge of being too late. That really helped in this process. They got to the point where they're like, okay, like I couldn't do it anymore. I was like passing out and his head was too big for my birth canal, so he was just going in and out and wasn't coming out for so long. And he had a huge mark on his head right here when he came out later on. But so basically they ran me in for a little mark on your head. Later on, so they rushed me into an emergency C-section, and I remember laying on this hospital bed and into this room, and it was just so like, it just was not like, if you've had a C-section before, it's just like the room's all really bright, a creepy room, and it's just not really comforting. And at this point I just needed comfort because I was so like emotional. When I had my epidural, they put a bunch of tape on my back, and it's the kind of tape that you get, you know, when you get blood work, and they put the tape on and you rip it off and it actually like really hurts. Well, I had that tape all over my back, and I remember laying on my side before they were gonna do the C-section, ripping this tape off my back, and I was in tears. My mouth was so dry, I could not breathe, and it was just like, I'll never forget. That tape was worse than my contractions, I swear to God.
You could not breathe when that tape was on?
The tape, they were ripping it off my back, and it was not fun. So I was begging them for water, and they couldn't give me anything because I was going in for surgery basically. Like they were gonna put me out asleep. Like things were getting real. So they were gonna put me asleep, and I wasn't even gonna be able to experience anybody with me in the room, like my mom or anybody, and experience hearing, you know, his cries and everything like that. So they put me asleep, started the surgery, and in the surgery the emergency alarms start going off, and nurses and doctors are running into the room, running out of the room, and they wouldn't tell my family anything of what was going on. They didn't know if it was something to do with me, if it was something to do with him. They wouldn't say a word, and my mom and my stepdad and my family said that it was the worst feeling that they got, and it was scary as hell apparently. So yeah, so it turns out that he had fluid in his lungs at this point, and he wasn't breathing and all this kind of stuff. But so he had to be in an incubator for 2 days after he was born. I remember waking up from surgery, and he was born at like 12:03, I think it was, in the morning. And I think I woke up around, I don't even know what time it was, but I just remember it was really quiet in the hospital. There was a bunch of different recovery beds beside me, and I was so groggy, and I was like, okay, like I want to see my son, where's my son? And like they wouldn't let me see him. So I remember the nurse finally was able to take me to the room that I was staying in, and I remember this so vividly. It's like a movie almost. Like the hallways were just like dark, they had like the little lights, and this hospital is an old hospital, so it was, you know, it was a little creepy. I was laying there, there's just me and the nurse walking to my room, and I just remember it was just like a path of darkness, and it was just, I don't know, I can't even explain it. It was just not a good feeling, and I didn't get to see Ben till the next day. I was so out of it. I was just recovering from everything, and I didn't get to see him till the next day because of everything that was going on with him. He was hard. He was a hard labor and everything like that, but we got through it, right buddy?
Yep.
Yep. So let's go into the next birth story with Mia, which happened December 30th, 2017, which was just over a year ago. Can't believe this happened so quickly. Okay, so Mia wasn't due until the end of January, but she came a month early. So basically what happened is me and Ryan woke up one morning and I noticed that I started bleeding a lot. So I was bleeding, and I'm like, okay, let's go to the hospital. So I packed a little bag. So we drove to drop Benny off at my mom's house. I posted clips of us, you know, going to the hospital and stuff like that. If you want to watch that little birth video vlog on my main channel, I will pop that down in the description box so you guys can watch that later. So I just remember we went to the hospital, I got checked, and he's like, your placenta has ruptured. There was blood going into my uterus, so basically we needed to get baby out now. So they're like, "Kate, you're up next for a C-section." And we were laying there so excited. We were like texting everybody, just saying like the baby's coming, like, oh my god. And yeah, so Ryan gets dressed up in his scrubs and he's being a dork, you know, pretending he's a doctor, and we're just laughing and having fun in there, you know, because we're excited. And you know, at 36 weeks, you know, is safe and everything like that, so we weren't too worried, and neither were the doctors. So we were like, okay, let's do this. So once again, I needed to have a C-section because my birth canal is really narrow, and we did not want to chance me going through what I did with Ben again. So we didn't want to chance that. We just did the normal procedure of a C-section. I got in my gown, I went into the room by myself, this, you know, creepy, scary, sterilized room, you know, and I had to go in by myself, get an epidural, and they hurt, but it's fine. And then they finally let Ryan in after they got set up. They had a huge blue sheet in front of us, so we couldn't see anything that was going on, thank God, because I didn't want Ryan to see me that way, because, you know, he might not look at me the same. Just kidding. No, he probably could have, but I just did not want, just you know, let's just stay behind the curtain. But we were just like laughing, I'm out of it, and we're just, it felt like forever. I don't even know how long the surgery was, but it was weird because I was like laying there and like all I could feel was like tugging and stuff like that, and like my body was just moving, and we were just like, Ryan was crying because we were just so happy, and then I started crying, and we're just having our moment, you know. And then finally, after what it feels like forever, we hear Mia's cries and her little cry, and it was just like the best feeling ever because I did not get to experience that with Ben. Like, I just didn't get to hear the first cries, you know, when a baby comes out into your life. So they took Mia right out of me and rushed them into the room to cut the umbilical cord and everything like that, but like I didn't get the whole experience of them putting her on me and stuff, like all purple and bloody and gooey and whatever. I don't know if they do that with C-sections, but for me they didn't, so I'm not sure. Anyways, Ryan got to go and cut the umbilical cord, and I could just hear him and the nurse laughing, and he was just like, oh my gosh, like crying and, you know, taking photos and all this kind of stuff. And once again, I'm just laying there and I'm like, okay, I want to see my baby. And I asked Ryan, I'm like, hey, like it felt like forever that I was laying there like getting stitched up before I got to see her. And he was actually like, it was a long time, like you didn't get to see her until you were out of that room and, you know, cleaned up and sewed up and everything. And then they brought her to me to do, you know, skin on skin and everything like that, and it was just really incredible. So anyways, that is the birth stories of both my kids.
And that's going to happen again with the other baby.
Yeah, hopefully a lot easier because we don't want this baby early. Because a little update, we got some bad news in my last appointment. We actually had to be sent to a maternal fetal specialist or something. We had to measure the baby and see the growth of the baby because my iron count and my iron level is at a severe, and my pregnancy is actually at a high risk pregnancy right now. So I'm actually taking 2 iron pills a day. I'm taking prenatals, and I have to, you know, eat red meat. I need to eat iron enriched foods, otherwise me and this baby are at risk for numerous things. So yeah, I'm hoping that we can make it to the due date and I can give this baby more nutrients and everything like that. I've struggled with anemia my whole life, but for some reason my iron count has dropped to 4, which is like severely low, and it's a very high risk for autism, and a blood transfusion during surgery if I need one and stuff like that. So yeah, that's just something I've been struggling, and that has actually, if you guys watched my pregnancy update video, I'll show you guys that video up top, but I talked about how I just felt off and I felt weird and everything like that, and then I find out it's because it was all of my iron and everything like that, and being severely low in iron because this baby is taking it all from me. So I will keep you guys updated on what's going on with my health, the baby's health, and everything like that. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel to join this journey along. And I will also link all the other videos I mentioned in my description box, like I said. Other than that, I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching.